Well, we hope to learn in the coming days who will be named the city's new police chief.
Yeah, IMPD Chief Randal Taylor announced last week that he's stepping aside but staying on the police force.
Today, our Emily Longnecker sat down with Chief Taylor. They talked about his proudest accomplishments, his biggest challenges, and even a few of his regrets.
It took me a day to get it in here and ready. It'll take me probably a day to get it all out and just figuring out where the next office is.
But whatever office now IMPD Chief Randal Taylor ends up in when he leaves this one, this picture of fallen IMPD officer Brianne Leith is going with him.
She could have been my daughter, you know.
Leith was killed less than 4 months after Taylor became chief.
She was young, vibrant, but one of those things you just, you know, as a chief, you just never want to deal with.
Leith's death, one of many challenges Taylor faced in that first year on the job, along with the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, followed by a summer of social justice protests downtown. Less than a year later, his department dealt with a mass shooting at a FedEx facility where 8 people were killed.
That was probably the most emotionally difficult thing for me to deal with.
Taylor says he wouldn't trade those experiences and thanks the public for their encouragement. Not everyone has been happy with his performance, though, with some in the public calling for Taylor's resignation earlier this year after a record number of police-involved shootings, 18 so far, with some calling for an outside agency to come in and investigate.
I've got no problem with anyone looking into what we're doing or why we're doing it, and if it can help make us better, then that's the whole goal, right?
Taylor points to what he believes is a more transparent police department following his tenure as chief. Under Taylor, IMPD saw several changes, including all officers wearing body cameras, with video from those cameras being released in cases where force was used.
So we've had videos where made our officers look really good, and we've had some that made them look not so good. But that's the thing with transparency, right? You can't just be when you like it. It's got to be all the time.
IMPD also changed its use of force policies, banning chokeholds and stressing de-escalation. A use of force and general orders boards with mostly citizens on them were also created to review use of force incidents.
All those things were an effort to make sure the community understood what we were doing and could see what we were doing. I've often said in 36 years in law enforcement, we haven't always done it right.
Taylor says if he could, he'd change a few things.
I wish I had been able to get the message out better about how to conduct yourselves when interacting with officers, with complying with what officers are telling you to do. I think that drops officer-involved shootings down dramatically.
Taylor also says he'd testify against concealed carry at the State House.
Yeah, if I had to do it over again, I would go. But I've still always been against that move. I'm still against that move. I'm hoping that the state will reconsider that when they reconvene.
As for what comes next, Taylor says he's not leaving IMPD, just this office, and hopes to be in the community, working closely with crime victims' families. And Chief Taylor said it's now time for someone with fresh eyes to take his seat and lead the city's police department. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear the advice he has for the person that takes that job next and what he thinks are the biggest challenges that that person is going to face in the top job.
It is a big job, certainly, for sure.
Job.
All right, Emily Longnecker reporting tonight. Thank you.